you.
Be you.
Be you.
Be you.
Be you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to BU Inspirational Interviews. I met this wonderful woman through Storm. We were actually in his studio space, that's why it looks so cool with floating plants. But yeah, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself. So just a little name, where you're from, where you grew up, and then kind of we're just gonna go for it and dive into we started a conversation and I was like, wait, can I interview you?
Yes, she's pretty cool herself, I'll say right now. So my name is Janesse, and I'm originally from SoCal, LA. I'm from a area that I'm not sure if it's that spoken of, but it's San Gabriel Valley in a smaller city called Rosemead. It's predominantly Asian, and now I'm in the Bay Area living in Palo Alto, and I'm in a startup.
Yes. So she's for what she's accomplished and what she's doing, she is incredibly humble, because I've met some people who are doing less than what she is, and they're like super boastful about it. I haven't had them on the show because of that reason. No, I'm serious. Like she's incredibly intelligent. She has a lot going for her. Do you want to talk about those things first, or do you want to talk about the thing that I have questions about first? Because we're gonna talk about both, but. Now they're well,
Let's
do
see.
you even want you can be vague though too, if you don't want to say the name
Which
of what
one?
it is.
I have a lot of things I could talk about. That's the
Okay.
question here.
I know.
So I could talk about my film, my music, my company that I'm a part of, or the company that I'm starting.
That is what that's what I'm most excited about. But I mean all of it's really cool. So just give a little tidbit of all of those things that you're doing and how young you are also with having accomplished these things and going for these things. It's so cool.
Yeah, so I just graduated last year. I turned 22 last year too. I graduated from UC Santa Cruz, and now I'm in a startup at Stanford. So the first project I'm going to talk about is WIM, and I'm the CPO, Chief Product Officer, for that one, and I'm in charge of the product side of everything. And as the name basically implies, you're out on a whim, you meet people on a whim. Essentially, our mission was, how do we find community within communities, especially in the Bay Area? It's hard. My founder of the company is international, so she herself struggled with finding her circle here alongside me, and it's so hard where you bypass all these connections around you expecting that people are not like you, because on the surface they're not, but underneath it all there's an endless amount of knowledge that you have yet to discover about them. And essentially with WIM, we're trying to bring back what our grandparents did and how those people met. It was being at the same place, same time, and luck just happened. We're engineering serendipity with that one. And our inspiration for WIM and the design, it's a classic red and white. It is the Virgin Atlantic airline. And yeah, it's super fun with that one. With WIM, it did spark out a lot of other forms of inspiration for me, and one of them being film. I had no film experience prior to that one, and I made an ad for WIM, and it basically, you guys could check it out.
Yeah,
also,
we'll link it in the show notes.
Yes. And it basically shows how originally these connections start from an age where you just don't really think about, you're in elementary school and you could say hi to the people all around you, and all of a sudden you're in a new place, new town, whether it be for college or a job, or your family moves, and then what, And it gets lonely, especially with life, and we all seek connection no matter how much we deny it. We did a research study in Stanford, and 97% of the people that partake in it said that they feel lonely, and they know someone that also feels lonely.
97%.
97.
Jesus.
Exactly. And with that, we're trying to go outside of what social media does. Instead of labeling WIM as social media, we're using media to be social again. So, yeah, we're trying to pave a new social era, and it's extremely cool.
I love that, and I love that. I'm like the demographic that needs. I mean, well, I feel like everybody needs this. What you're creating, because there was actually a moment where I was like showing you something on my phone, and the next video suggested was like a tarot something, and most people would be like, you know, like I don't know, like I don't know, how, yeah, but you're like, hey, that guy pops up on my feed. I was like, what?
Like, what are the chances?
Like, I know, because I don't like know. I mean, I have like my small group that like I can talk to about stuff like that.
It's like super niche.
But the majority, I don't talk about that side of like my interests because of like, you know, like there's a stigma. They're like, you're a weirdo, or that's evil, or like, you know, like there's just certain. I've heard it all, so I just keep a lot of things to myself. And it was just really cool where I was like, oh my gosh, no way, you're into this too. So yeah, I mean, that's super important. And there could be someone out there that's like into knitting, and their whole group is like into clubbing, and you know what I mean? And they're like, where are my people? So I love this. I love everything about it. And I love the human connection part of it too, because yeah, sure, you can like meet people online and like have similar interests with people online, but it is not the same as like sharing like energy here. Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's different in person, connecting first and seeing who that person is and whether or not you guys are even on the same wavelength, because I've had plenty of times where I see people online and you're like, oh my gosh, you're super cool, we're just gonna click immediately.
Yeah.
And then in person it's just nope, nothing there. And I think with us, our model is meet first, message second. So with that one, you're supposed to have that spark initially, take that chance. With WIM, we're playing with the using chance again, where it's like a gamble, you know, it's like with this person, if I were to speak about them, what is going to happen? You know, it's like, what are the chances of me being at the same time meeting this person who also does this, and this? And it's like us, if we both did no storm, and if I didn't see or notice that small video on your screen, I was like, oh my gosh, you're also into astrology and you're a Virgo.
Yeah. But yeah, I love that. And I love that you noticed those things too. Pay attention to
It's scary. I'm a Libra, by the way. So.
Yeah, she's balanced. Yeah, Virgos and Libras get along. My baby sister's a Libra. But yeah, so that's a huge accomplishment. So, like, to that. And the next thing on your list, there was 4 things that you mentioned.
Yes.
So what's the next one that you want to...
I could talk about film now, because WIM was the gateway for me and film. So it's very interesting. I was informed last minute about how I was supposed to create an ad for WIM, and we had a party in Stanford in 3 days. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have no knowledge or anything about anything. And I was like, okay, what do I know? Like, what will really pull at the heartstrings of people, especially in such a concentrated area of intellect? It's hard, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, like, let me just go back to the basics of where I think connection lies, and it's in media. Like, it's through film and everything. And I remember this one movie that left a very strong impression on me. I'm not sure if you know Alfalfa, but I mean, I don't know the demographic that's going to watch this. It's like an older movie. It was like...
You know what I immediately thought of? The Little Rascals. Alfalfa from the Little Rascals. I was like,
yes. Little Rascals. That is the one that I was... I thought that the movie was named Alfalfa, but it was from that one, Little Rascals.
Okay.
Yes. And I was like, there was this moment in there where so the boys and the girls were supposed to hate each other. Like, that was the whole point of the movie. Yeah. And then there was this one scene where this boy handed this frog to a girl, and they both bonded over that when they were both supposed to hate over something that's like so boyish or whatever. And it was through that small moment where I was like, something so innocent, how, like, what happened to it, you know? And then I went into this whole listing deep dive of films because I personally do too much. I don't have enough time to watch movies and all. So I found um, Perks of the Wallflower, and in
Mm.
there was this typewriter scene. It's like friends, and diving into friendships and then romantic relationships, and also how it blossoms just from a connection.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with women and all that, it's nice knowing that you're just going to make this connection with someone and not even being like, oh, it's a dating app, oh, it's a networking app. Like, yes, you could. We integrated AI in it just because I do think during this time it's very important to utilize these tools. But how can we help you find these people? And you get to just insert what you want specifically. It's like, oh, I want to find a filmmaker who's from Paris, and then we're going to pull up a list of the people on the app
How
that is
cool is
there
that?
and where they're going to be at what event and all, since it'll have like a bunch of whim locations and everything. So best way to describe it is Pokemon Go before people. So the inspiration was from carte de visites back in the Victorian age, where everyone just has a card about themselves. They just drop it, give it to people, and they're like, this is who I am, where to find me. There you go. It's not a business card, it's a personal card.
I like
But with
that.
Whim, it is just that, just a picture of you, a single one-liner about you, and then your name and link to whatever socials you want it. But you can't add that person without their consent. So you have to go out of your way, go on a whim to meet people at a place, and then take that chance to find them and really go out of your way and be like, hey, this is you, right? Like, spark that conversation, see if there's even a spark there. And also, with that, you could just see how you want that relationship to be.
Yeah, that's really cool. Wow. Is it still in production or can we sign up now?
So it is going to be out within a few months. So
Cool.
it was on the App Store at first without AI. So
Okay.
we were testing how that was going.
Yeah.
And it was super interesting, especially seeing how what motivations people have. But especially in this day and age where people tend to focus on community online rather than being like, oh, what intentions did I even have going outside, going to this place when I could just text this person or I'm connecting to them virtually. But we're trying to bring back that magic of what it is to do things authentically again, having authentic connections instead of just portraying yourself a certain way, and whether or not even, I guess, portraying yourself in a way that's you outside of who you think that people want you to be.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. That's perfect. I can't wait for it to come out. Okay. Two other things. Music.
Yes. So, music. I graduated last year and I was supposed to graduate before I was 20. And I was like super scared because I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, I'm not even gonna be legal yet. I'm just gonna sit at home, like, doing God knows what. Like, I don't wanna grow up yet. And I was like, okay, what else can I do while I'm here? And I found that my school had a minor in electronic music. And I was like, okay, that's like techy enough for me to get into because I don't know. Growing up, it was very hard since I am Chinese and my family's very traditional. So it was more so, oh, like focus on this path. Like the way is already paved out for you. Like just these are the steps. Take it. This is how you be a doctor. This is how you be a lawyer. This is how you enter a business. But I think for me, that realm was a step towards me instead of following the safe path. I'm like, okay, this is a good excuse of being like, oh, I want to do music, but this is also techie. This is also cool. I'm like learning the history of all these things. And it was very interesting, the timing of it, like Charlie XCX and Brat came out. And that sparked out this new wave of experimental music and what technology can really do with it. And I've played the guitar since I was in middle school. So I have an acoustic background and I've been a singer and songwriter for God knows how long. But I was like, okay, this is also super new and it's super cool. I'm a person that likes to challenge myself and really test my limits and test what I can do. And that has opened a whole gateway for me. So I was able to experience a bunch of different sounds, and I released my album recently too. And it's an EP called Release. And originally it started from a school project. It was a final,
Oh, no way.
my final class. I met this guy in it who knows how to set up Dolby Atmos, which is normally used for movies.
Oh.
So he had this entire studio with just like live panning everywhere, and it's like super cool spatial audio. And I'm like, okay, that's super cool. I know nothing about that. Like, let's do something together. And it came out with this track called Bittersweet. But I was supposed to have it be released like last year this time actually.
Oh.
But for some reason I didn't. And I was like, okay, I don't feel like it's ready yet. Like there's always that blockage, I think, with artists and creatives where it's like you have to perfect it, but the real question is how do you even perfect art? And I'm like, okay, but what even is my sound outside of this class? Like I don't want it to just be something like I could have it be something just for the, I guess, sake of experimenting, but I also want to do it for me. And I was like, okay, let me like really test my limits. And I ended up mashing a bunch of different genres. I grew up listening to music like Depeche Mode, The Smiths, and I got into classical music, and I listened to Taylor Swift back when she was like a country artist. And then I got into K-pop, and the list went on, and hip hop and trap. And I'm like, how do I even define me when all of this was a part of me?
Yeah.
So I think going to music and not knowing where it'll lead you to was what that EP was about. There was my friend who was a producer in Serbia, but now he's in Miami now, was like, oh, it's very interesting. You blended like acoustic elements with hip hop and also electronic, and I hear like some indie in it too. And I'm like, it's very interesting for people to see my art in a way that I can't see it, because it's so easy to get in your head being like, how do I define myself? How do I present myself? It all ties back into identity, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think during such a transformative time where I just graduated, I'm just embarking on all these new things, it puts this pressure on me. And I went on a trip, my first time out of the country. I went to London, I went to Paris, I went to Rome, and I went to Manchester, which is a little random, but there's a whole story behind it. And I wrote 3 tracks during that time. And I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to release this. And the track Bittersweet and the 3 ones that I wrote, and my very first project that I've ever made called Love and Hate, which was my very first music assignment ever in that whole minor, was on there. And it created this merging of sounds I never knew that I could have. And I look back at it and I was like, wow, you know? And it shows like the transformation that I went through it all. And then that sparked my idea for Phoenix Collective, which is a startup that I'm founding. So it all ties into identity, because I got into design when I was 18. I do film, I do music. I also work with AI, I do automation. I am a writer also. And I'm like, but with LinkedIn, which is Instagram here in the Bay Area, apparently, there's only one single headline for you, one sentence, and how can I even make a sentence for me? You know? And while I was rebranding myself on LinkedIn and redoing my entire portfolio, I'm like, I'm not just a product designer, I'm not just a UX designer, I'm an experienced designer. I create experiences through film, I create experiences through product, and also all forms of media.
Yeah.
And I'm like, in a world where identity is so limited these days, I'm sure that I'm not the only one out there. And my founder for WIM, Romy, same thought sparked in her with WIM. It's like, I'm sure that there's plenty of community around me, but I just can't see it. You know, I think with her, Phoebe Gates once complimented her outfit, and it led her to getting advice from being a founder. It's like that would have never happened. And then for her, this guy with a Stanford sticker on her laptop saw her, and then they were at a cafe, and she got the inspiration of just applying for Stanford right then and there without even considering it. Yes.
Oh, wow.
And so it's like all these little things of chances,
Yeah.
and taking a chance on things. And that's what I'm doing right now for me with all these projects and everything I'm doing. And with Phoenix Collective, it's basically finding yourself rebirth through the ash, like the phoenix. And it's PHENYX, which is the edgier, more modern take of Phoenix. And it basically is a identity observatory. So I played along with the lines of that, where everyone has their own constellation, which marks the growth of where they are, where they originated, where they first transcended, where they first realized their identity, and when they start becoming it. And there's 7 points representing the 7 chakras.
Ooh,
and
yeah, I know. I love
so we basically use AI to basically scrape what information you want to share, and to discover where you're from, and also where you want to start. Whether you want to create your own identity and let it know you from scratch, or whether you want to build on top of an identity that you already built. So that is currently under formation right now. And that is one of the projects that I am working on at the moment.
Yeah. Do you have a timeline of like release date?
So I will say everything will most likely be out around summer.
Wow, that's fast. I thought you were going to say like in a year.
No.
Wow. Okay. That's exciting.
It is.
Wow.
It is.
Yeah. And then when it comes out, I'll update the show notes too. And then maybe if you're watching from the future, they'll already be in the show notes.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's exciting. Okay. So on top of all that success, right? And from the outside, I'm like, oh my God, you are extremely intelligent. You're just, the opportunities that you get, I feel like you manifest them because you have a high vibration. Like you're someone positive to be around. Because when we first met, we literally just met one time.
We did. It was last Sunday.
Yeah, recently. And I mean, I'm friendly with everyone, but I don't like connect with everyone, right? Like I'm nice to everyone, but we were like
we clicked immediately.
Just,
there was a connection.
You like got me. You know what I mean? Like if I say something like, "Oh yeah," and I'm like, "Wow," I normally have to like explain or elaborate what I'm talking about to other people, you know? But you were just like, "Oh yeah," and I'm just like, "What?" She got me. And then you told me something that surprised me, because I was talking to Jared, which is our other mutual friend.
YB Ghosty. You should check him out on Spotify too.
Yeah. And I asked him a question, and because I genuinely get very curious about people's experiences, you know, because all of our little souls are borrowing these like shells, right?
Yeah.
And we have different experiences on planet Earth, right? And that's all according to like numerous things, like where you were brought up, how you were brought up, your astrological sign, what year, all kinds of things that make up our personality, right? So the lessons are different, and we have to learn how to navigate life through our own obstacles, like a video game, right? Like she has to like jump on the little Koopas, and I have to like shoot the little fire things out. Like, you know, it's still, we have our own obstacles, but different. So it makes me like so curious to like peep into other people's lives, like, oh, what are your obstacles?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and how do you deal with it, and how do you get through it? So, with all that said, you all know that I go off on tangents. With all that said, tell me more about your experience and what you happened to mention that I was like, what?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think it was along the lines of, you guys were talking about media for sure. And then I brought up that I struggled with bipolar disorder. And the biggest obstacle in my life was, I've realized recently, was all came from me. Because I think with how I grew up, my origin, it developed a lot of different traits and characteristics in me that I took as my own. But then I realized that there's science behind it all, you know, within each and every one of us. Like, there's genetics that come into play. And it wasn't until I met this girl at that time that were like, oh, have you ever been analyzed by a professional before? And I was like, no. And I went in, oh my gosh, I forgot his name, but he came out with 4 different diagnoses. And I was like, oh, that's super lovely. I just went in for one. It was for ADHD. And I got diagnosed with ADHD and ADD. I didn't even know that there was a combination type. But that means that I'm hypervigilant, not only like physically, but in my mind. And then I came out with bipolar disorder and type 2. So it's the more depressive type. Type 1 is the more commonly known, where everyone's more heightened and like mainly elevated in mania more. Whereas with type 2, it's like you're just on the precipice of reaching mania, where you're hypomanic instead, so you don't go all like psychotic and thinking that you're Superman and you're on top of the world. So I have more like depressive crashes instead of elevation. And the last diagnosis I got was OCD. But the OCD that I got wasn't even an actual diagnosis. He was like, you're just so, you develop this sense, people with OCD develop coping mechanisms during a time where they feel a sense of lack of control in their life. So that's why they become overly controlling in certain ways. So your brain is tricked that, oh, I actually have control over these things. And it's super interesting because for the longest time I was like, what is wrong with me? It's like, I feel this way, but my life looks fine. Like, there's no reason for me to feel this way, so why do I feel like this? And
Can you describe the feelings? Because I have a really close friend that has borderline personality disorder. And everything that he described, I was like, I'm like a, and don't cancel me. I feel like sometimes I'm like almost a non-believer of like, I was like, but I'm someone who feels extreme. Like, it's not normal. And I know it's not. I'm just very sensitive. And I've always been like that. Where I don't have normal emotions to certain things, where it goes from 0 to 1,000. It's like, I can watch a movie and like
that's me.
where I can't control it. It could be in the movie theater. It could be like whatever. Like, it just comes out. I can't control it. But I like that part of me. When I was younger, in my 20s, I would have literally like a psychotic reaction to anger, and where I would fight and I know it's not me now. I know
okay.
I'm so nice, but it was like primal. Like, I couldn't help it. But I think it definitely originated out of fear. So I like a backed up animal. What are they gonna do? It has to fight back, right? So, and I would like have these psychotic fights with like from. I've apologized since to all my exes. But I would have like these, like, I want to say manic episodes where I would be like, I see red and I can't control what's coming out of my mouth, and it would be like literally like venom. Like, I would say the most hurtful, awful things to them, and and then I'd come back to like myself and I'd be like, oh,
You're like,
should
damn.
not have said that. That was not good. But then like I didn't know how to like regulate my emotions back then, and I didn't know how to like take responsibility either back then. So I just pretend like, what was your fault? You made me mad. Like since then, of course, like I've healed those parts of me, and I don't feel that strongly when it comes to anger anymore. But when people describe those feelings, I, like, did I have those?
Oh
Was
my
I
God.
undiagnosed? Like, what? How come? I don't know, because I worked through them by myself. So I always like, I'm like, what did those feelings feel like? And I wonder if I can relate, or like, do you even need to be on medication? Because I can heal my own. If I can regulate my emotions with
Uh-huh.
nothing, then I feel like so can everybody else, because mine were
Yeah.
extreme.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No.
that was a lot, but those are what's in my head right now.
No, that's great. Thank you for sharing. So it's very interesting because I went to school and I graduated with a degree in cognitive science, but concentrating in AI and HCI, which is why I'm in the field of work I'm doing right now. But it basically is psychology, but it focuses more on our perception and how our perception basically, I guess, affects
our reality, kind
yes, affects our reality and how we perceive things. And so it ties into emotions. I studied neuroscience and I studied obviously AI and how virtual reality and how what even is intelligence and diving into that whole ballpark. But going back into the science behind it all was super interesting where I'm like, oh, it's our development affects it. Oh, like our feelings are triggered by this. And oh, our brain is in these areas is affected because of this. And it came to me, I also got those diagnoses like during a time like right before I was during like about to graduate. So it was like a very interesting time where I'm like, okay, I have things figured out, but then I was like, oh, I guess I haven't figured out myself yet. And then I went on medication. But at first, it's interesting because I helped one of my roommates during college to find out that she had BPD. And I also was trying to understand the difference between BPD and bipolar disorder.
Yeah, what is the difference?
So BPD, it's borderline personality disorder, which means that your personality is like you don't have an identity and you let people define who you are. So that's why it's borderline personality. So you're like on the border of like you don't even know. And you basically let other people's reactions determine your reactions. And with bipolar disorder is your moods regulate you and you have no control over your moods. And which is why it was a very it's different living a reality that other people don't see. And it was very hard for me. I think with the way I grew up and also with who I am as a person, I've developed so many skills that allowed me to maneuver life in a seamless way. And I am the type that doesn't really open much about my struggles because, like you said, I like keeping my vibrations high and just focusing more on the more positive parts. But I think it took a lot of darkness that had to occur for light to emerge, obviously. And then it came to a realization with actually having that on paper and seeing it. Like, it was funny. It was written on paper, and I was like, yeah. And then it hit me like a month later. I was like, damn, like Janesse, like that's actually like not something to laugh about. Like, that's why you are the way you are. You shouldn't blame yourself. Like, but that's what makes you you, because I think during that time there was so much stigma surrounding it, especially for the people opening up about it, like Kanye West and him in his documentary. I'm not sure if you guys even watched it,
I haven't seen it. Where can I see it? I'm a Kanye fan through and through. I've never deterred from like, oh, he's crazy, he's doing this. I understood him at every single part of his, like every season of him, and I've like literally been like, I get it. Like, no, and when people are like, oh, he's this now, I was the old Kanye. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he's
He's
still,
only human.
yeah, and he's still brilliant. He's still
He's
a
a
genius.
genius.
There, yeah. So
We're in sync.
we are. But go ahead. Sorry. Too.
I saw it in theaters. So I am not sure, and like I mentioned before, I don't have the privilege of consuming media on my free time.
Yeah.
So I would say it's probably.
Was that in LA? Did you see it in LA?
Oh no, I saw it here. It was like
What?
everywhere. It was Storm and Jared that told me about it. Jared saw it twice. It was that good. But he basically opened about his diagnosis too and what led him to get off medication. But in that film, it made me realize why I need to stay on medication. So recently, it's interesting because on days when I forget to take my medication, I'm like, oh, I'm fine, but people around me notice. And I'm like, that's super interesting.
What do they notice though? What do you mean?
I've always been like a very calm and composed person, and my moods are always like super happy dappy, but then there are times when it's just like out of nowhere. And then it's just like you're walking on eggshells around me.
Really?
And it was like in those times where it's like I feel bad that it's happening, but I also like don't know it's happening. But people around me bring it up after it does happen. And I think it's so easy because your heart controls you as much, I think, much more than your mind, because your feelings control how you think. And I think that's the root of it all. And it's also a life source. But I think that, alongside my understanding from my academic background, has allowed me to become a more, I guess, controlled person, especially in the areas that I'm working in. And like, I can't crash out and like in like a business environment. Obviously, I could through expressing it through film or like music, and that emotion is always inspiration to me. So I always have to find outlet, and music has always been my outlet.
Okay.
And I think that realization also occurred to me recently, where I'm like, okay, I'm able to be like this because I had these things to fall back on. And now I'm able to find myself and understand myself deeper through expressing these parts of myself that I never allowed myself to express, especially through you and through this. I've never been so open about it. So thank you for giving me this chance to, and even, I guess, realizing where I am today.
Yeah. I still have more questions.
Yeah, of course. Go for it. Shoot your shots.
So what is the medication like? Like, say, so in contrast to cat hair everywhere. In contrast to you not on the medication and then you on the medication, what is the same, and what do you notice a change in yourself, not just in like emotions, like does
actions.
it no
Actions? Oh, it was
yeah,
a question, sorry.
yeah, like how do I even, I'm so curious, like, do you think that it holds you back in any way, or does it just simply regulate your emotions?
With my medication, so the thing with it is it's hard for me to keep up with schedules. I think it's because of my attention deficit. Also, I'm like, oh my god, I was supposed to take it at this time. It's like 4 hours later. So what am I supposed to do? And it's a medication that you can't take at like a different time every day.
Oh.
And so I take the medication in the morning, like as soon as I wake up. So I'm not that well aware of it, but I do notice how different I go about my day becomes, because sometimes I swear I'm a law-abiding citizen, but I I drive a little crazy when I'm off my medication because um, it's like God complex that I develop, or it's also like I'm the worst person on this earth. Like I shouldn't be here.
Oh.
Like it's extremes. Like that's why I say it's
Oh.
like these
Damn.
it
Because
like
I was saying, like, is it so bad to have a God complex? Like, if you know what I mean? If you're just
but it's
like,
this to this
but
that it's a
the lows I'm
problem.
not a fan of. Like
Yeah.
that, yeah. But I mean, if you came in here and you're just like the best thing on earth, I'd be like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
How can we all be like that? Like, I
Yeah.
love that part of it. Like, that's what I love
Me
about
too.
Kanye.
Me too.
You know, and I would love to feel that every day. But it's the low part that I don't, that, yeah, I would definitely want to just
Yeah.
take a pill and be like, nope, no thank you.
I also say though, I do think being manic and feeling on top of the world is very dangerous. It's like something that I think people romanticize a bit because it's like you could view one way and you think that you'll get away with everything and you'll just do whatever you want until it comes back to you. And that was something that I also had to learn through my earlier phases when I was 18. And during that time, I was manic. Like, I was, I just graduated. It was quarantine. I entered college. Everyone was like going crazy because you're in person again. And it brought out a different side of me where I'm just like go go go, like chasing highs and ignoring all the lows. But then when you're by yourself, then it you tend to realize you're like, oh, I have no control over myself. And it's a scary thing where you're letting your moods dictate who you are and how you operate. And that's one thing where it leads to a lot of sabotage mindlessly, whether it's good or bad. And it leads to, like, I have a friend who, so the girl that I knew that led me to seeing that professional and getting that diagnosis. So I went in for ADHD diagnosis, but he was like, I went through this guy and it came out with like autism. Just crazy. And
Hey, autistic people are
they're geniuses.
Yes, they are so freaking intelligent, like beyond. Their IQ is like skyrocket. So
the
that's nothing.
neurodivergency, like,
No, I'm definitely neurodivergent, so that's for sure.
puts your brain in a way. So just think about like the regular brain. I would say the neurotypical brain.
I don't have a neurotypical. I know for a fact that I don't. But yeah, how does the neurotypical brain work? Like, what is?
I would just describe it as like it's just getting like shockwaves of energy every single like moment where it's like always active, like it never shuts off. I think that's the best way to describe it. But when it shuts off, it like shuts off. So that's
Neurotypical?
No. Neurodivergent, yes. Whereas neurotypical
I
is
feel like
just
mine
like
never shuts off though. I just go 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 go, and when I'm asleep, I guess, but that's when it shuts off. But my like, I remember we were having was it where I was having a conversation that day.
Yeah.
About people who smoke, right? And
Oh
I
yes,
told,
I heard it. Yes.
yeah, and I was like, I can't. I don't enjoy it because it's one of two things. Because they're like, oh, you should do this one. Oh, you should do this one. I don't like either of them because with the indica kind, I don't. I love interaction. I'm a human people person. When I smoke indica, I'm just like this. I don't want to move. I'm just like this, and I don't like that. How is that fun? I don't like it. And then if I do the other kind, which is sativa kind, my brain goes too fast, and I get really creative, and I'll be like, oh, yes, and then it'll go away, and I'm like, wait, I just wanted to, and then another thought, and then it'll go away, and then I'm like, how is this fun? I can't catch any of the thoughts. I can't act on any of them because they go, and then they cut another one, and then it's too fast.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't like either of these things. It's too slow, and it's too fast. So I don't like it.
No, so before I had these diagnoses, I was self-medicating a lot. So I had a lot of substance issues. I was I'm just gonna admit it. I was an alcoholic, and I was smoking every day also, and I went on like 3 to 5 day benders. I was nonstop. That's what I mean, mania. It's
Oh my
like
gosh, I can't imagine.
crazy. You think you're okay, but you're really not okay. And the people around you asking if you're okay, they know that you're not okay, but if you yourself think you're okay, but you're unintentionally damaging yourself, then it's a problem, which is why I was saying it's like it's cool until it isn't. And
Okay, yeah, this helps me understand better
yeah.
because I had my own because I don't when people talk about it, I create my own like experience in my head and it's incorrect because I'm thinking, well, what's so bad about that? Like
Yeah.
you have emotions. I had emotions. I had extreme emotions, but when you describe it like that, now it's helping me understand, oh, like
Yeah.
it's more extreme than I experienced. Than I because I was thinking, oh, I had it and I regulated my own emotions. I don't think I actually had it if I wasn't going that high and I wasn't going that low. So that's just it's very eye opening to hear you like describe it and it's I don't know it's such an experience like that you've gone through like I'm trying to like
My life is a roller
digest it.
coaster. My feelings are also a roller coaster. So.
Yeah, I mean I thought mine were but like that's intense.
It is very intense, and I think it is very easy, or it was very easy for me to let how people perceive me to define who I am. And also, I mean, that's why I'm so passionate about identity and experiences and creating experiences to remind us what it means to be human again and elevate our human experience, because I was this person, but now I'm this person, you know, like a phoenix, I was reborn. And you can always go through that process as many times as you want. You could be this person, but then, like, let's say I have this epiphany and I want to be this other person. I'm going to start on that entire journey. And then the process of identity, like, never shifts. And it is unfortunate how in this day and age we're all, whether it's on your resume or whether it's on a profile screen, it's static, you know? Like that bio that you have, that headline that you have on, whether it's that summary in your resume or that LinkedIn or TikTok or Instagram, like they all do the same thing. They all limit you. And whether or not you allow other people's perceptions to be who you are and let it define you, or would you rather define yourself and let other people perceive you the way that you want to be perceived, you know? And I chose the latter because I've been through the first one, and it's very scary, especially to go through transformation and realizing that you don't know yourself as much as you do, and that people also don't know yourself as much as they think they do. So it's really, I think the point of life is growth, and it should always be that way. It's like learning about you, learning about others, learning about something, because I mean, you only have one life, and there's beauty in not missing these moments.
Yeah. I've been to so many people, Janesse, you idea. But you know, I give love to every version of Serena there was.
Yes.
You know, they all had lessons they needed to learn at each season, and I really like the Serena I am now. But I know for a fact that I will evolve again, and I'm going to be different in next year. I'll be different. The year after that, different. Like it's just. But that is, like you said, it's part of life. I mean, we're meant to grow. We're not meant to stay the same. And if you are staying the same, there's a problem. You're not learning from your lessons. Like, you know, you're going to keep getting the same lessons over and over and over and over. You got to grow. But, yeah, that was extremely eye-opening. And you explained it better than anyone has been able to explain it to me. So thank you for that.
Oh, really? I'm glad.
Yeah. But I also think that you just... I resonate, like, whatever you say, I'm going to, like, get because of that's just our vibe.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
kind of like me. Like, when I was like, oh my God, I didn't have to elaborate. I didn't have to explain more. She was just like, yeah. And I was like, what?
No, the things that we say, like, it's super interesting because I feel like we get each other.
Yeah, I think so too. Now, hopefully the audience gets it too. Hopefully, okay, let's set the intention that, like, people that will understand what we're saying will gravitate towards this episode.
They
That's what
will.
I want to start putting the intentions into, like, each episode of, like, the person that needs to hear. You might have said something that, like, is an aha moment for someone out there. So, yeah, and thank you for sharing too, because you've accomplished literally so much at such a young age that it's very impressive and inspirational. But like, to also hear that you had, like, such an extreme obstacle is, like, so motivating, because there are people out there that want to do this, want to do that. I'm like, okay, well, you did it with these diagnoses, like,
Yeah.
and you're continuing to do it, and you continue to create, and and you're just getting started, which is the most exciting part, because we're gonna get to see so many projects and creations that you put out into the world that is going to bring so much light. So that's very exciting, and I'm getting excited.
There's definitely a lot to stay tuned for.
Yes. Is there anything else that, maybe a piece of advice to those people out there, or anything that, like, anything that comes to mind that you want to say?
Yes. So my biggest piece of advice is don't be afraid to be you.
Yes.
Because time is short, life is short, you never know what's going to happen. And it's so easy to let the world define who you are and the people around you define who you are. But you yourself know yourself best. You know, it's you, it's your life, it's your experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So live for you. I mean, you can live for other people too, but it's your life at the end of the day. Just reach out and grab it.
100%. That is the sole purpose of this podcast. Like, the "Be You" is the slogan. Like, so you are the perfect person to have on the show. I'm gonna, like, even put that in the show notes of, like, the epitome of what this show is about. But yeah, that was perfectly said. It's why we resonate so much. So we're gonna close out. For now, there will probably be a part 2, so she can. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. So we're probably. I mean, she's gonna be one of the people that I invite back on the show. So how we close out the show is we say my little slogan, which is, I remind the audience to always remember to be who, and then my guest says, be you. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. All right, guys. Always remember to be who?
Be you.
That's right. And I'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.